All right, good morning, Bantam back hockey fans. Back to you this Sunday morning, chilly Sunday morning, with a contest here from the Moorhead Sports Center as Moorhead takes on Brainerd in this district matchup. Face-off underway. Starting lineup: Beckett Miller, Donnie Copeland, and Joe Summers. Quickly, Beckett takes it out. Enters into the zone, gets a poke checked away from behind, and back comes Brainerd. Poke checked away by Welsh. And that's rolls in the zone offsides on Brainerd. Colton Miller tends to take the face-off with Kalhoff and Steen. And battle in the neutral zone here. Brainerd comes out with it. They throw a quick shot on net. Saved by Davis. Brecky there to clear the rebound. Now Brainerd will dump it in from the blue line. Wells from his own goal line. Gets it up to Steen. Steen cross ice up to Kalhoff, and Kalhoff will carry it up across neutral zone. Kalhoff with a step. Gets picked up from behind. Now Steen picks up the puck from behind. He'll throw it below the goal line. Brainerd chips it off the glass and out. Icing's waved off, so Isaac will have to go back and pick it up. Isaac, long lead pass up for Kane. Kane continues on the forecheck down low. Now Hasbargen from the point, shot there, rebound, comes wide, picked up by Cam Mounshaugen. Mounshaugen from below the goal line, spins all the way around up front to the face-off circle. Gets it poke checked away, and Brainerd able to bounce it off the glass and clear. And this one will go the distance for an icing this time. So just 2 minutes into the first period. No score between Moorhead and Brainerd. First contest between these two was back in mid-October, where Brainerd was victorious on their home ice. Face-off. Woodard up to the blue line. Pass with a quick shot. That hits a body up front. Ooh. Penalty coming up against Moorhead, as Woodard's going to get a call. Check against the boards. We're going to get an elbowing maybe. They call it roughing, but elbow was up in the air a little bit. So 14:53 left here in the first. Brainerd goes on the power play. Beckett and Summers out here with Welsh and Brecky for the penalty kill. Penalties on the board, and we're ready to roll. Face off, comes back to Brecky. He rings it around the boards. Up to Summers, he'll chip it out to center ice. Brainerd with control, working on their entry. Sharp shot there, by Davis. He'll kick it to the corner. Brainerd brings it around to the near side. Brecky pops it loose, comes out to the blue line. Another shot there, blocker saved by Davis. Brecky pokes it up, but unable to clear. And battle right here at the blue line, and finally Summers able to kick it out to the center ice. Brainerd dumps it in from the red line. Brainerd in low. Poke checked away by Beckett. Now Brainerd just dumps it in behind the net. Working down low now, Wells takes it away. Wells finds Summers up to Beckett. Beckett will carry it in as Summers goes for a change. Beckett will throw a quick one on net. So Moorhead gets a couple of skaters, fresh skaters out. Now Brainerd will dump it in as they make changes. Moorhead with 4 fresh penalty killers. Hasbargen hands it off to Isaac. Isaac up to Steen on the near boards. Steen comes back around the far side. And that puck flops up in the air, and Davis will glove that and hang on to it for a whistle. 11 seconds remaining in the power play for Brainerd. Moorhead tries to clear, held into the blue line. Oh, nice sucker knee save there by Isaac. And Moorhead will carry it up and in. Steen dumps it in. Moorhead back to full strength. Kalhoff jumps on the ice to join his line mates. Steen holds it into the blue line. And Brainerd able to finally clear back out to center ice. Boss chips it up ahead. Brainerd at their own blue line. Kalhoff blocks that pass. Now it comes back to Hasbargen. Hasbargen up ahead. Brainerd carries it in. Now Hasbargen chips it out to center ice. Boss spins around on his own blue line. Dumps it all the way up to the far blue line for Brainerd, and they'll pick it over. And Brainerd will dump it in. And that's going to be an icing on Brainerd as Moorhead was in the midst of a change. So 12:03 left here in the first period. Still no score. Face-off coming in the Brainerd zone. Hounshaugen in to take the face-off. Brainerd tries to flip along the boards. Blah there to hold it deep. Hounshaugen from behind the net tries a centering pass. That's kicked to the corner by Brainerd. Now back to the far side corner. Poke checked away by Hounshaugen. Hounshaugen centering pass to Woodard. Woodard right out front, gets poke checked from behind. Brecky tries to hold his blue line. Doesn't work. Wells steps his own zone. He'll carry it up ahead and hand it off to Hounshaugen. Hounshaugen to Woodard. Spuds have 3-on-2 numbers. Woodard gets checked along the boards. Brainerd tries to clear, and they do, as that one hopped over Brecky's stick. Beckett banks it off the boards. Brainerd has to get onside. Now Beckett steals it away at center ice. He'll dump it deep as the rest of his line mates are making changes. Summers, fresh off the bench, chips it in down low, where Copeland will give chase. And Brainerd able to control and clear. Hasbargen flips it up ahead. Now back the other direction. And that'll be an icing on Moorhead. Bringing the face-off down here next to the right of Alex Davis in the Moorhead net. Face-off tied up. Summers comes out with a loose puck. Summers goes wide to the right. And we got an offsides on Moorhead. Battle at the blue line. Brainerd comes away with it. They'll chip it in deep from the red line. Battle for it down low. And Isaac finds Summers out front. Summers up ahead. He carries it in wide to the right. Now down low. Supported by Copeland. Brainerd dumps it deep. Icing's waved off as that went off of a Moorhead stick. Wells hits Summers up the right wing. Summers will dump it in deep. As he finishes changes. Now back the other direction. Brecky pokes it back to center ice. A lot of neutral zone battles here. Nobody with any real offensive. Brecky scouts in. Shot. Just goes wide. Wells unable to hold to the blue line, and Moorhead will have to get back on side. Kalhoff dumps it up ahead. Brecky will chip it in. Now it's a loose puck in the neutral zone. Kalhoff kicks it back out. Brainerd will have to get on side, and they chip it in a little too early, and that's an offsides on Brainerd. 9:05 remaining here in the first. Still no score. And we got a penalty coming up on a cross check against Brainerd, I believe. So right off the face-off, number 20 for Brainerd is going to go to the box for cross-checking, and Moorhead will go on the power play for the first time in this contest. Power play unit will be Beckett, Summers, and Mounshaugen, with Brecky and Welsh at the blue line. Mounshaugen spins around along the boards, gets a low to Summers. Summers back to Mounshaugen. Mounshaugen low down to Summers. Up to the point to Wells. Cross ice to Brecky. Brecky looking cross ice for Mounshaugen. He'll pick it up in the corner. Now Summers and Mounshaugen will switch spots. Up to Welsh at the point. Welsh shot and held on to, no rebound. As Beckett was right out front looking for a rebound to pounce on. Summers wins it to Mounshaugen at the Welsh. Welsh's shot there goes wide. Beckett feeds to Brecky. Brecky goes cross ice in the corner to Summers. Now down low is Summers. He'll bring it back up to the point to Welsh. Welsh down to Summers. Summers and Mounshaugen switch spots. Mounshaugen gets a poke checked away, but Welsh holds at the blue line. Welsh hands it down to Mounshaugen. Down low to Summers. Summers looking for Miller, streaking through the middle. Now up to Brecky. Brecky shot, rebound, score! Joe Summers with the power play goal. That'll be Summers from Brecky. As Brecky's pass went off a skate, came right to Summers, and he buried 5-hole on the Brainerd goaltender, and Spuds lead 1-0. Colton Miller in to take the face-off. He wins it ahead. Brainerd will chase back for it in their own zone. Poke checked away by Jet Steen. He finds Colton at the blue line. Colton gets brushed off the puck, and Brainerd able to clear. Isaac, spin around. He'll hand it up to Colton. Now comes Brainerd back the other direction. In deep is Hasbargen. Stolen away by Brainerd. And now Colton tries to clear, but that's held at the blue line by Brainerd. And Kalhoff will clear. His pass just out of Miller's reach. Hasbargen gets ahead to Colton. Now Colton will retreat to his own zone to pick up the loose puck. He hands it over to Hasbargen. Back over to Colton. Unable to clear. Brainerd holds at the blue line. That shot's blocked by Steen, and Steen finally able to poke it out of the zone. And Brainerd will kick it back in, but that'll be offsides on Brainerd. .6:28 remaining here in the first period. Moorhead with a 1-0 lead. Face off at center ice here with Mounshaugen. Brainerd chips it in deep. Brecky will give chase. He'll poke it up along the boards to Blaha. Now back low is Brecky. Now Brecky goes cross ice over to Woodard. Unable to poke it free, but Brainerd chips it back in the zone, and that's another offsides against the Warriors. Face-off going to come up at center ice. Poke checked away by Woodard. Tries to dump it in the zone. Collision at center ice. Puck gets poked free. Brainerd. They'll dump it in deep. Welsh will pick it up. He'll go back door to the Blaha on the far side. Blaha will leave it for Brecky. Brecky, lead pass up to Woodard. Woodard carries it in, hands it off to Mounshaugen. Poke checked away by Brainerd. Back to Brecky. Now Welsh steps up with it. Ooh, big check there along the boards. Physical battle. Welsh carries it up. Moorhead in on a change. Welsh throws a shot on net, and the goaltender will hang on to that for a whistle. Quick shot off the face-off. Goaltender saves that and covers it up for another whistle. Summers will take this face-off here. Beckett tried to pick it up, but Hasbargen will pinch in. He'll dump it low. Centering pass. Gets through everybody. Comes to Summers on the near boards. He hands it off to Hasbargen. He fires a shot from the point, and blocker save goes up into the net for a whistle. Loose puck off the faceoff. Brainerd picks it up and clears the zone out to center ice. Isaac spins it back around, hands it up to Copeland. Now Summers gets pinched off the boards, but Copeland picks up the loose puck. He skates it into traffic. Another quick shot there by Summers. Now Spuds finally able to get control. Isaac dumps it back in from the blue line. Summers gives chase. Hasbargen at the point. Ooh, tip shot there by Copeland. Redirected that puck on net. Goalie still there to put a pad on it. Now it comes to Isaac from the face-off circle. He tried centering it to Miller. He was tied up on the back door. Long lead pass up for Brainerd. Up ahead. Haas gets there to poke check it away. And Summers hands it off to Copeland. Now Copeland up across center ice. He carries it in with Miller. As the rest of their line mates are making changes. Comes up to Brecky at the point. He throws a shot that goes off a Warrior player. Now Kalhoff works in down low. Kalhoff with the forecheck down below the goal line. Now Beckett feeds it up to Welsh at the point. Wells steps up, fires, shot, just goes wide. Steen, centering pass. Actually rolls behind the net. Wells steps up to hold it low. And Brainerd just flips it out of the zone and down the ice. And that will go the distance for an icing. So 3:03 left here in the first. Spuds with a 1-0 lead against Brainerd on a power play goal by Joe Summers. Face off, down low below the goal line. Steen pressuring. Brecky at the blue line, dumps it back low. Colton Miller hands it off to Steen below the net. Steen from behind his own net. Behind the Warrior net, excuse me. Now it's Colton Miller there to help support. He falls down and the Warriors try to clear, but Brecky there to hold at the blue. Oh, they're saying no. It came outside the blue line, and that's an offsides on Moorhead. Thought Brecky had a great play there, just holding it at the edge of the blue line, but snuck across for an offsides on Moorhead. Face off one back to Brainerd. Their pass doesn't connect, and that'll be an icing against Brainerd, bringing the face off all the way back down to the other end. Mounshaugen to take the face off. Brainerd tries to ring it around the boards. That'll come out to Hasbargen at the point. He'll hand it down to Woodard. Now Mounshaugen from behind his own net. Supported by Woodard. Now centering pass comes to Blaha. Blaha's shot gets blocked off of Warrior's shin guard. Pass there to send it back deep. Now Woodard from behind his net. Mounshaugen skates out to the center. Hasbargen at the point. That's shot. Hits some bodies up front. Now Brainerd will send it to the point. Hasbargen tried to hold it in, but they got poke checked away. Whoa. I thought that was onside by Brainerd. Minute 35 left here in the first period. Face-off just coming outside the Moorhead zone. Davis tries to play it up to Summers. That's intercepted by Brainerd. Centering pass. Tied up by Welsh. Now still loose. And finally Welsh gets away with it and hands it off to Beckett. Beckett. Turnover at the blue line, and the Warriors come back the other direction. Throw on net. Davis will play it, leave it for Welsh. Now Welsh up ahead to Summers. Summers up along the right wing. He gets pinched off against the boards. He'll leave it where Welsh is helping out down below. He leaves it for Beckett. Beckett, oh! Beckett lofts one at the net and finds a hole and puts the Spuds up 2-0. Beckett was just lofting one in on net, and somehow it had enough arc in it to go up and over the shoulder of the goaltender. So Beckett Miller with a score from, I believe that's Welsh will get the assist on that one, with just 43 seconds remaining here in the first period. Now Steen with Kalhoff, 2-on-1. Feeds it. Oh, Kaloff got tied up from behind right at the last second. Now Colton Miller steps into support. Puck below the goal line, picked up by Brainerd. They try to clear. Wells tries to hold it in, but Brainerd support shows up and clears it out. Now Brecky pokes it to the near side. Kaloff sends it back to Brecky. And comes off the boards right back to Brecky, and he'll carry it out ahead. He'll throw in on net at the last second and stick to the corner by the goaltender, and that's the end of period number 1. So after one complete period of play, Moorhead leads Brainerd 2-0. We'll take a quick minute timeout here and just go on mute as we get ready for the start of the second period. All right, back here for the start of the second period. Beckett Miller and take the face-off. Back to Hasbargen and gets the pass. Sends it cross ice up to Summers. That gets intercepted by Brainerd. And back comes Brainerd the other direction. One-on-one, quick shot there, goes wide. Brainerd will hold it in at the blue line. Now Hasbargen from behind his own net. Gets it up to Summers. He chips it up ahead to Beckett. He got poke checked away by Brainerd. Now at center ice, Brainerd spins it back into the offensive zone, and they are offsides. Off, comes back to Welsh. He tries to pass it up. That gets deflected. Now Steen controls. He'll get a flip up to Colton. Now Steen with a steal. Steen with a nifty move. He's got Colton and Kaloff streaking down the middle. He loses an edge along the boards. Now Kaloff loses an edge down low. Now Colton from behind his own net. He tries a centering pass. That got blocked by Brainerd. Now Brainerd able to finally get some control. They try to clear it out, but Welsh intercepts. And pass up ahead to Brainerd. And Brainerd's offsides. So 2-0 lead here for Moorhead early in the second period. First period goals by Joe Summers and Beckett Miller. Mounshaugen wins it back to Welsh. Welsh gets a poke checked away by Brainerd. They carry it in low. Welsh with the loose puck up to Woodard. Woodard chips it out of the zone. Looking Cinder to give pursuit. Now pass comes across to Blaha on the near side. Blaha throws a soft one in on net. Goaltender clips that to the boards. Woodard back to Welsh. Welsh will throw it low. Brainerd rings it around to the near side where Blaha will pick it up. Brainerd able to clear. No icing. Brecky will pick it up in his own zone. He'll go cross ice up to Blaha. Brainerd picks it up and sends it back down deep. Centering pass. Loose up front. Poke checked away and Welsh carries it out. Welsh with Blaha. Mounshaugen. Welsh shot. Bad save there by the goaltender for Brainerd. Mounshaugen from behind the net tries to stuff at Tim. Now it comes along the boards. Welsh holds it in low. He tries to throw it in on net. The backhander goes to the corner. Now he'll feed it up to Isaac at the point, but it's out of his reach. And Woodard will pick it up in his own zone. Isaac from his own zone. And that puck gets flipped up into the netting. "14 minutes remaining here in the second period. Brainerd controls the faceoff. Cross ice pass up the middle. Brainerd will dump it down low where Hasbargen will get to it. Now Brainerd goes behind the net. Centering pass blocked. Beckett chips it up ahead to Copeland. Copeland with Summers 2-on-2. Copeland carries wide to the near side. Now a scuffle forward in the corner. Summers and Copeland. Copeland comes out with it. He tries the centering pass, goes off the net. Now Summers feeds to the point. Pass. Throws a shot on net. Goaltender clips it to the corner. Shot there goes off of a Brainerd player. Now Pass will pick it up and hand it off to Summers. Summers sends it to Beckett. Beckett back to Summers. Shot and score! Joe Summers finds a hole between the wickets and puts the Spuds up 3-0 on the feed from Beckett Miller. So 13:03 left here in the second period. Moorhead now takes a 3-0 lead. So, penalty coming up. Hooking call against number 23, Kane Kalhoff. So, just under 13 minutes, Brainerd will go on the power play. Colton in to take the face off. Out to the middle. Welsh will pick it up. Welsh will bank it up along the boards. Brainerd dumps it in. Brecky will get to it first. He'll ring it around the boards for Colton. He'll chip it up to Welsh. Welsh will get it up ahead to Steen. Back to Welsh. Welsh up ahead. Gets through. Shot. Just goes high. Now Brecky along the near boards. Brecky and Steed try to hold it in, but Brainerd finally punches clear. Puck now loose in their own zone. Welsh bank it out to center ice. Steen sends it back to Welsh. Pops up to the middle where Colton gets it, and he'll dump it in. And Moorhead will get 3 new penalty killers on the change. Monshaugen with a steal right off the gate. He's a pesky one on the penalty kill. And another poke check there by Monshaugen. They dump it up ahead. Brainerd in one-on-one as they're making changes as well. Monshaugen on the back check. Brainerd up to the point. They send it back down along the near boards. Centering pass, cross ice. That shot goes wide. Now Brainerd setting up their power play. Another penalty coming up against Moorhead. Shot there goes wide of the net. Brainerd centering pass. Now Brainerd shot. That hits the side of the net. Now Brecky will finally touch it up. And penalty coming up against the Spuds for cross-checking as Landon Hasbargen will go to the box. So we will have an 11-second 5-on-3 power play here for Brainerd. After the 11 seconds, Kalhoff will be out of the box, and it'll be a 5-on-4 for the remaining minute 49. Face-off controlled by Brainerd. Out to the point. Down to the near side. Brainerd moves the puck wisely. Out from the top. Shot there. Saved by Davis. Oh, a nice clearing attempt there by Welsh from his knees, and Beckett flips it out to Kalhoff, who's fresh out of the box. 5-on-4. Kalhoff carries it in. Kalhoff continues to pressure down low. Kalhoff, he may be the little guy out there, but he ain't backing up from nobody. And Brainerd finally able to clear. That one's stick down by Beckett. Now it's loose, comes back to Welsh. He goes cross ice for Kalhoff. And now Blaha, who's helping out on defense, finds Welsh, and Welsh finds Kalhoff again. Now Kalhoff up ahead. Kalhoff getting poke check from behind. And Brainerd finally comes away with it. Brainerd with numbers 3-on-2. They poke check into the near boards. Welsh will pick up the loose puck. He'll finds Colton. Colton able to chip it up ahead. Outside the zone. Brainerd has to get back on side again. Now cleared to Welsh. And Welsh, he'll throw the distance. Goes off the goaltender, so no icing. As he throws that one on net. Brainerd up ahead. Good poke check there by Steen. And up ahead goes Colton. Colton with Poss. 2-on-1. Poss in a long shot and scored! Shorthanded goal by Isaac Poss. On the feed from Colton Miller. As they caught Brainerd there in a line change. And Spuds now with a 4-0 lead with 9:22 left here in the second period. Brainerd dumps it in. Just 12 seconds remaining here on the power play for Brainerd. Loose puck off the save, cleared to the corner. Now Brainerd dumps it in low. Centering pass, just clicked wide of the crease. Colton tries to clear, but it's held in by Brainerd. Now Brecky will settle things down. He'll bank it off the boards up ahead to Steen. Moorhead back to full strength. Chet up across the blue line, skates to the middle. Tried to hand off a pass, but that got intercepted by Brainerd. Now picked up the loose puck is Monshaugen. Again, Brainerd on a change. Monshaugen got 2-on-1. Sands it off. Shot just goes. And there's no signal. penalty shot coming up against Brainerd. The puck was loose underneath the goalie's pad somewhere, and I believe the call is a penalty shot because the player covered up the puck with his hand in the crease, which is a penalty. So I heard the ref saying it's a delay game, but because it's in the crease, I believe that's what causes a penalty shot on the play. It was a nice move by Mounshagen. He left a backhand pass to, I think it was Miller, and he was on his backhand. He tried to flip it in. The goaltender made the save originally. So Spud's already up 4-0, and Mounshagen now gets a penalty shot against the Brainerd goaltender. And here we go. Cam in nice and easy. Oh, what a move. Cam Mounshagen with the penalty shot goal. Nicely just waited out the goaltender, got him to commit, and easy backhand, and Spuds now lead 5-0. So 8:27 left here in the second period. Face off, pushed ahead. Mounshagen takes it away. He tries to center it to Woodard. That gets intercepted. Now it goes over the far boards. Brainerd chips it out to center ice. Welsh tries to intercept. Now he'll pick it up in his own zone. Welsh with a rush up ahead. He loses an edge, hands it off to Woodard. Woodard, shot, save there by Brainerd. Loose puck out front. Now it comes. Now loose puck up front again. And Woodard is down on the ice in front of the net. I didn't see that. That was behind the play. Woodard is missing a glove. He was laid out on the ice. The refs are talking over the penalty. Slashing is the call. Now the ref will explain it to the Moorhead bench. One ref will explain it to the other bench. It's like Brainerd is it was the goaltender with the penalty. The goalie is getting a game misconduct. And he is being ejected from the game. So luckily, Brainerd has a backup goalie. So the backup goalie will enter into the game. Starting goaltender is out. They're giving him a 5-minute major in a game. So now Moorhead will be on the power play for the next 5 minutes, from what we're seeing. So 8:05 left here in the second period. Moorhead with a 5-0 lead. We just had a 5-minute major and a game misconduct penalty called on the goaltender for slashing was the signal. So the goalie is out of the game. Their backup goalie comes in. Another player will sit the 5 minutes. And looks like everything's situated. And we're ready to get underway. Face off coming in the Brainerd zone. Beckett feeds Mounthaugen. Mounthaugen's shot saved to the corner. Now Summers will chip it along the boards. Hasbargen holds at the blue line. His shot goes wide of the net. Now Isaac Poss will step in. Now Summers finds Beckett. Beckett's shot and fans on it, but it rolls through the wickets. And a goal for Beckett Miller. When things are going right, things are going right. And Beckett Miller's got things going right for him today. He completely fanned on the shot, but it was like a knuckleball rolling in. I don't know what the discussion is here with the refs. It's still a power play for Moorhead here, as with a 5-minute major, there is no penalty, doesn't get canceled on the goal. So power play for the goal for the Spuds puts them up 6-0. Muds off the face-off. Mounthaugen carries it in deep. Now he finds Hasbargen at the point. He goes cross ice to Miller. That gets deflected, but Poss able to control at the blue line. Now Poss skates it in, hands it to Summers right in the middle. Now Mounthaugen skates it in down low. Now he'll finally feed up the point to Hasbargen whipped on it, and Brainerd got a breakaway. Mounthaugen, what a good back check by Mounthaugen, but he's going to take a penalty as he drug him down. Good hustle there by Cam to prevent the breakaway, but got a little excessive with the stick. So we'll now have some 4-on-4 hockey here, with just over 7 minutes remaining here in the second period. Colton Miller and Kalhoff will be out here with Brecky and Welsh. Face-off, Brainerd off the face-off. Quick shot there, saved by Davis, and he'll cover that up. Another quick one off the face-off there, goes wide of the net. Wells tries to get to Kalhoff, it was offline. Now centering pass, Brainerd tried to throw a backhander on net. Now Welsh and Colton able to come out with it. Now Colton up ahead for Kalhoff. A little cluster here in the neutral zone. Brainerd will dump it in. Welsh will pick it up and behind his own net. He has to settle down that bouncing puck. He'll get it off to Colton or Kalhoff. Now Colton up ahead, stolen away by Brainerd. Quick shot there and saved by Davis. So 6:17 remaining here in the second period. 1:10 remaining in the 4-on-4 advantage or action. And then Moorhead will go back on the power play as Brainerd is sitting the 5-minute major. Blaha in to take this face-off. Blaha tangled up along the boards. Now Hasbargen picks up the loose puck. And he centers it out to Steen up at center ice. Steen up ahead all by himself. Again, 4-on-4 action here. Steen walks to the middle. Shot. Pad save there by Brainerd. Now Brainerd up ahead. They'll flip it in down deep as they go for some changes. Davis will leave it there for Hasbargen. Hasbargen up to Blaha. And a little extra clear back behind the Moorhead net, so matching minors where Hasbargen will go to the box along with number 20 for Brainerd. So we're still 4-on-4 here. Beckett and Summers will come out with Brecky and Wells. Face-off comes to the near side. Banked all the way up ahead. Wells banks it off the board to Summers. Summers hands it off to Beckett. Beckett up ahead. He'll chip it in down low. Now he'll feed it back to Welsh at the point. Welsh. Cross ice over to Brecky. Brecky tries to center out to Miller. Gets poke check now. Welsh steps up. His shot. Oh, he goes off the crossbar. Beckett steps up down low to Summers. Now Beckett again at the point. His shot there goes wide. Now Moorhead back on the power play as Mounshaugen's off the bench. He walks in. Shot scored. Cam Mounshaugen with his second goal of the period. And Spud's now up 8-0, I believe it is. Or is it 6? Can't read the scoreboard. So Moorhead still, no, it's 7-0 now. Okay, it was 6, now it's 7. 7-0 Moorhead. 4:50 left here in the second. Moorhead still on the power play for another minute 45. Big turn of events here with a shootout. Oh, nice feed there by Mounshaugen, just out of the reach of Summers. He'll poke it up to Isaac at the point. Isaac back to Summers. Beckett gets it poke checked away, and Spuds have to get back on sides. Blaha now helping out a defense with Hasbargen in the box. Summers carries it in, shot there, blocker save. Mounshaugen picks up the loose puck, finds Poss at the point. Poss's shot deflected wide of the net. Now Summers will pick it up in the corner. He'll leave it for Miller. Beckett. Brainerd spins around, tries to throw it out, but it goes off the netting. And we'll get a whistle and a face-off coming in the Brainerd zone. So 1:05 remaining here in the 5-4 advantage for the Spuds. Colton Miller in to take the face-off. He wins it back to Steen. Pins it to Poss at the point. Cross ice to Blaha. Blaha down low to Colton. Colton to Kalhoff. Kalhoff and Colton playing a little two-man game down low. Now across at the point to Poss. He throws a shot, save. Colton, his shot goes off a skate and goes to the wide to the corner. Colton had a wide open net. Now Kalhoff steals the pass, hands it to Steen. Kalhoff back checking, holds the puck in. And now Brainerd finally able to chip it out to center ice. Blaha will spin around, send it back up. Brainerd chips it up back into center ice. Now Blaha hands it to Colton. Colton looking, oh, his shot goes off the post. Blaha tries to center it. That goes off for Brainerd's skate. And Brainerd just flings it down the ice for an icing as they were looking for relieving the pressure. So 3:16 left here in the second period. 11 seconds remaining in the man advantage for Moorhead. They've already scored 2 goals on this 5-minute major. Battle for the faceoff. Comes to Welsh at the point. Welsh goes over to Brecky. Brecky throws a shot that gets deflected. Kalhoff from behind the net. Now hands it to Steen. Brainerd back to full strength. Now it comes to the point where Welsh will spin around. He'll leave it down low for Miller. Colton leaves it back for Welsh at the point. Welsh steps up, sends it back low to Colton. Colton throws a shot on net. Rebound. Kalhoff picks it up from behind the net. Now Steen. Means Colton. Colton's shot gets blocked up front. And Brainerd able to finally clear. They'll throw it the length of the ice on net. Davis will play it up ahead. And back come the Spuds the other direction. Colton along the near side. He leaves it for Steen coming down the middle. He gets laid out. Brecky shot. Gets deflected up into the glass. Now Kalhoff will hustle to it on the far boards. Brecky supports it. Loose puck along the boards. Now Brecky tries to come out with it. And penalty coming up against Moorhead. Delayed call. And Blaha will touch that up. And we're going to get a cross-checking on Moorhead. That was in the skirmish along the boards. And Jet Steen going to the box for cross-checking. So with a minute 45 remaining here in the second period, Brainerd now goes on the power play with the man advantage. Face off to Poss. He chips it over the far boards where Copeland will get to it and punch it free. Poss again. Now turnover taken away by Brainerd. They try to throw a sharp angle shot. That rings wide out to the blue line. Now they'll send it in low. As Bargan tries to clear, Brainerd holds it in at the blue line. Throw one softly on net where Davis deflects it behind the net. Now Brainerd tries to set up their power play down low. They throw a shot on net, and Davis will glove that and hang on to it for a whistle. Woodard in to step in to take this face off with a minute remaining here in the second period. Brainerd centering pass gets deflected. Now a scrum up front with the net. Loose puck. Brainerd throws a backhander on net. Davis deflects that wide. Brainerd able to hold his own at the blue line. And Woodard finally picks it up. Actually has Bargan. And he'll send that the length for icing. So 50 seconds remaining here in the period. Brainerd with the man advantage. Face off coming to the right of Davis. Face off loose. Welsh poke checks it away. Welsh finds Summers up along the left wing. Summers leaves it for Welsh. Now Welsh just dumps it below the net. Poke checked away by Welsh. Now Brecky with the loose puck. And Brainerd will recruit behind their own net. Brainerd up ahead. Taken away by Welsh along the near boards. Brainerd. Now with advantage. Now Brecky sends it up. to Miller. Miller to Summers. Summers tries to backhand it to Miller. Brainerd now sets it up in their own zone, and that's the end of period number 2. So after 2 complete periods of play, Moorhead leads Brainerd 7-0. Zamboni doors open, so we'll go on mute here for about 10 minutes and come back with the third and final period between Moorhead and Brainerd. All right, here we are ready back for the third and final period between Moorhead and Brainerd. Moorhead with a 7-0 lead. Brainerd starts this period on the power play. 14 seconds remaining here in the man advantage for Brainerd. Loose puck comes back to Brecky. Now turnover. Shot there goes off the side of the iron. Brainerd able to hold deep. Now Brecky banks it off the board up to Summers. And Summers able to clear. He gets it up all the way up to Copeland, who's fresh off the bench. Moorhead back to full strength. Welsh gloves it down at the point. He centers it. Beckett was tied up front, couldn't get a stick on it. Now Summers gets it up to Brecky, but Brainerd able to clear. Ooh. And offsides against Moorhead. Colton Miller in to take the face off. Brainerd from their own zone. They'll chip it up to center ice. Stolen away by Kalhoff. Now Brainerd takes it back the other direction. They'll dump it in deep. And Spuds will clear out. Brecky had Kalhoff up ahead, but he fanned on the pass. That one takes a dirty hop off the stanchion, so Davis will have to play it. He'll leave it for Welsh. Welsh up ahead. He finds Steen up along the far side. Steen with a step. He'll spin around. Colton up front with the tip. Now Welsh. He'll hand it off to Colton in the Corton. Colton back to Kalhoff at the point, who's covering. Colton to Welsh. Welsh sidesteps, carries it into traffic. Now gets poke checked away by Brainerd. And Brainerd clears out to center ice. Brecky feeds Kalhoff, trying to catch Brainerd on a change. He feeds Steen in the middle. Now loose puck picked up by Colton Miller. His shot just goes wide of the net. Kalhoff from Dunlow. Pass comes out front. Goaltender holds that up for his defenseman. Isaac Poss holds it at the blue line. And Poss again from the blue line, able to hold it deep. Moorhead finished making some line changes. Blaha banks it off the boards. Brainerd will pick it up and dump it deep. Isaac spins it back around. Nobody at the wing. Woodard just getting off the ice. He'll send it down the distance. Icing's waved off. Brainerd has to play it as Garrett Blaha was rushing down the net on the chase. Now Mounshaugen dumps it low. Woodard will give chase from behind the net. He sends it back along the boards. Now has Bargain from the point. He'll throw a shot. Blocker save. And Brainerd finally able to clear. It'll roll on net on Davis. Davis, long lead pass up to Woodard on the near side, blue line. Woodard skates it into traffic, gets poke checked away. Now Mounshaugen battles along the near boards, supported by Blaha. Now Brainerd from the near corner. And they're able to flip it out to center ice where Welsh will pick it up. And they're calling a hand pass on Moorhead. So down under 13 minutes already as we got running clocked here in the third period with a 7-goal lead. Beckett in to take the face off. Brainerd pokes it back to Brecky. Brecky goes cross ice over to Copeland. Copeland dumps it up ahead. Brainerd at the red line, dumps it deep. Welsh comes out with it. Spuds 4-on-2 advantage here. And poke checked away, and back comes Brainerd the other direction. At the blue line, they dump it in on net. Davis steers it to the corner. Copeland sends it back out to center ice. Poke checked loose by Summers. Summers continues to give chase. Now behind his own net, tried the centering pass to Beckett Miller, but that got deflected away. Now Copeland settle things down, sends it up to Beckett. Beckett's shot goes wide into the glass. Brainerd chips it up top. Brecky there to send it right back down low again. And Brainerd with the long lead pass up ahead. Brecky chasing. Oh, that shot goes off the iron. And rings back the other direction for Summers. Summers centers it to Beckett. Beckett steers it in the corner as Moorhead's making changes. Steen holds it in at the point. And finally cleared back out to center ice where Landon Hasbargen will settle things down. Steer it back the other direction. Oh, that shot by Colton Miller goes bar up again. Now Colton along the near boards, feeds it to Poss at the point. Now they both send it back down low where Steen will give chase. Comes back to Colton in the near corner. Steen pinned up against the boards. Now Colton and Poss work along the near boards. Centering pass just outside of Colton's reach. And Hasbargen able to hold in at the blue line. Now Kalhoff gloves it down. He leaves it for Miller. Spuds need to get a little separation here. There we go. Now Colton works down low. His centering pass comes to a deflection. Hasbargen blasts a bomb from the point. Stick save there by the goaltender, and Brainerd able to clear. Davis will play it up. All the way up for Colton Miller as he's in all alone as the Spuds again making changes. He gets sandwiched between a couple of Warrior players. Now Blaha on the forecheck. Gives it to Woodard. Woodard's shot from a sharp angle goes off up into the glass. Now Welsh will get over to Poss. It's his one-time pass gets intercepted by Brainerd. Now Welsh in the corner. Loose puck comes up to Woodard. Woodard carries up on the right wing. Spuds with numbers 3-on-2. And Woodard gets checked along the boards, and then he runs a Warrior player down behind the net. And penalty coming up against the Spuds. As Woodard will be going to the box. And Copeland's also going to the box, so that means Woodard's getting a 2 and a 10. So Woodard will be gone for the remainder of this one. 2 minutes on the clock. Brainerd goes on the power play. Welsh spins around. He gets pinched up against the boards. Now Brecky against the support. He pokes it free over Summers. Summers battles along the near boards and finally comes out with it and skates it up. Summers up ahead, steers tight to the board. Shot there. And loose puck. And then finally covered up by the goaltender as he did not know where that one was on the sharp angle shot from Summers. So Summers and Beckett Miller. Summers take the face-off. Brainerd controls out the face-off. Beckett on the forecheck. Comes loose. Brainerd dumps it out to center ice. Welsh will spin around with it. He'll get over to Brecky. Brecky up to Summers. He'll chip it in deep. Killing more time. Summers with a big dump. Oh, Brecky with a shot. And that goes off the stick and up into the netting. And 2 more players will go to the box as a Warrior and Summers get into a little after whistle skirmish. So they'll get 2 minutes of rest on the bench. .7:53 remaining here in the third period. So Kalhoff in to take this face off. Steen has Bargan and Poss join him on the penalty kill. Comes all the way out to center ice. Gets past Hasbargen, so he'll have to retreat to his own zone. He'll bank it off the boards. Brainerd pinches to hold it in. Sharp shot angle there. Goes deflected into the glass. Centering pass. Shot there. Goes off of Davis's chest. And Moorhead able to clear. And Brainerd will have to get back on side. Brainerd tries to bank it off the near boards. Now Moorhead back to full strength. And that's an offsides on Moorhead here is battle for the puck at the blue line. Mountsaugin gloves that down, chips it over to Copeland. Copeland over to Blaha. Blaha stops, throws one into the far corner. Welsh will step up and hold it down low. Brings all the way around to the near side to Blaha again. Now it comes up to Brecky at the point. Brecky spins around, sends it low for Copeland. Now it rolls over to the far side where Mountsaugin will give chase. Now Copeland comes out with it. Nifty little move there. Copeland, Blaha, shot and scored. Beautiful feed there from Donnie Copeland. Finds Blaha on the back door. And Spuds make it an 8-0 lead with under 6 minutes remaining. Matching minors to Summers and the Brainerd player over, so they're both out of the box. Welsh from his own zone. Oh, him and Brecky. A little miscommunication there. They recover. Now Copeland up to Mountsaugin with Blaha. Now Mountsaugin spins in, circles the middle of the ice. Shot there, score! Cam Mountsaugin goes top shelf. And that's a hattie for Cam today. Now under 5 minutes remaining. Colton chips up it along the boards. Now it comes loose out to Hasbargen at the red line. He'll go cross ice to Poss. He'll skate it into the Brainerd zone. He'll carry it deep into the corner. Now he'll fit it back to Colton. Colton back down low to Poss. Down 4 minutes remaining here in the third. Kalhoff with the check. And he gets called for a penalty on it somehow. I don't understand that one. Cross-checking is the call. So Kane goes to the box for cross-checking. Brainerd goes back on the power play. Face-off comes out the point for Brainerd. They throw a shot on net. That gets deflected up into the glass. Brainerd back out to the point. Poke free, and Summers pokes it free, and he's got a breakaway. Joe Summers up in all alone. Shot and... ooh. I actually thought that one went in, but it did not, and play continues on. Took a funny bounce out from the net. Brainerd up ahead. Poke checked away by Hasbargen. And Copeland able to clear it back out across the blue line. Now Brainerd comes back in. Shot there. Save by Davis. Hasbargen there to clear the rebound. And now Hasbargen clears it back out to center ice, and Brainerd will have to get back on side. Brainerd at the near side. Down under a minute remaining here in the power play for Brainerd. Welsh unable to hold the puck, and he gets poke checked back into the corner. Now Poss will send it all the way around and come out to Copeland. He'll leave it for Welsh. Welsh with Summers, 2-on-2. Now Welsh will just dump it down in the corner. Brainerd rings it around and able to finally exit out the zone. Poke checked away by Brecky. He'll hand it off to Beckett Miller, who feeds Summers. Now Summers carries it up into the offensive zone for Moorhead. He'll backhand one on net, and gloved and hung on to by Brainerd. And with a running clock, that'll kill the penalty to Kane Kalhoff. So a minute 45 left here in the third. Spuds leading 9-1. 9-1. Moorhead will be back to full strength here as soon as the puck drops. Monshaugen. Moorhead unable to hold as Brainerd punches it free. So Brecky will have to recover in his own zone. Brecky's long lead pass hits Blaha up on the near side. Now Blaha's pass off the mark. Now Welsh will pick it up. Welsh carries it in. His shot is deflected wide. Welsh will send it up to Blaha. Blaha will send it back down low. And Brainerd will come out of the scrum with it. Now we're under a minute remaining. Monshaugen pinches in to send it deep. Monshaugen continues to hold it in deep. And finally back out to center ice where Beckett Miller will spin it around. Beckett carries it in. Toe drag deflected away by Brainerd. Brainerd dumps it out to center ice, and Brecky will spin back around to get it. His pass intercepted. Brainerd dumps it in. Brecky throws cross ice for Monshaugen. Now Brainerd dumps it low where Welsh will pick it up. Welsh finds Blaha on the near side. Blaha will chip it up ahead. And that one will go for icing. And that will run the end of this game down as the clock winds down. So Moorhead comes in this Sunday morning, hot and ready to go, and they take on the Warriors, and they defeat them 9-0 in this district matchup. Spuds go 3-0 on the weekend with the wins against Wadena, Fargo, and Brainerd, taking us into next weekend's home tournament here for the Spuds. Spuds will be at home here for their own home tournament, so there will be plenty of games for us to watch next weekend. So thanks for joining us this weekend. Everybody stay warm on this chilly Sunday morning, and we'll see you next weekend back at the rink.